if you would like to share the story of the gun, not discharge it.
Sure.
Because that story put chills to my spine.
So, at a point in my life, I didn't know how to deal with emotions because I was never taught. So I turned to drugs and alcohol. I spent a lot of time in my life trying to deal with the pain in my life by numbing. And because I was never taught by the people that were supposed to raise me how to deal emotionally. So I obviously got involved with somebody like-minded. And she ended up pregnant. The cool thing about my life at that point was I was able to stop drugs and alcohol, but I substituted work for the drugs and alcohol. I got involved with this woman. I ended up marrying her because I got her pregnant. As a result, my son was born premature. He was born significantly premature, and but you know, I had built a life for us. I bought a house cash. I had everything. So my son comes home, but he needed to be cared for. He needed a high level of care. He needed to be watched all the time. And I said I was working a lot, and I would work what was called split double this one day, which means I worked a little bit in the morning, got home for a while, and then came back at night. And on this one day, I come home, and my wife and my son are supposed to be at home, and I walked into my house. And the house was just had this weird energy. It was so quiet. And I start calling out for my wife, and she's not answering. And then I start calling out to my son, and he's 3 months old. And I go upstairs and I go to the nursery, and I look in the bassinet. My son's there, and I go to pick him up, and he's not moving, and he's cool. And so I start performing CPR on him, and I go to take him to the hospital, and he died that day. I'm calling the house. I can't get a hold of my wife. So I go home and I go knocking on my neighbor's door, and I ask the neighbor where my wife is, and he's like, yeah, I'm like, dude, where is my wife? My son just passed away. And he's like, she's down there. And I'm like, down there? At Jojo's house? He's a drug dealer. We don't do drugs anymore. He goes, Chris, I can only tell you when I know. So I went inside, and I used to keep a 9mm on my bedside table. I grabbed the gun, and I go down into the drug dealer's house, and I kick the door in, and I walk in, and I hear noises that I shouldn't be hearing from my wife without me being present. And so the house layouts are all the same. I go upstairs, and my wife's there with this man in bed having sex, and there's coke everywhere, and all this, and I lost my mind. And I literally went through her off him, and I put the gun in the guy's mouth, and I pulled the trigger, and the gun jammed. I stepped back, racked the second round from about 3 feet away, I pulled the trigger again, and the gun jammed again. And then took that pistol, and I beat that guy. I beat that guy within a half inch of his life. And when I was done beating him, I took the pistol, and I threw it at him because it was useless. And when I threw it at him, it hit the wall behind him, and it discharged a shot over my head. In that moment, God intervened in my actions and saved my life and saved his life. And you can't convince me it's anything but God. And he saved me that day. There's no doubt about mine.